Welcome back to the Your Watercolor Summer Weekly Challenge. Hi, I'm Chris B from OctopusConnection.com, and I'm a former high-end retail management professional turned freelance artist. Last week, I showed you how I created a super simple DIY travel watercolor painting kit, as well as the evolution of my kits over the years, so you can hopefully avoid making the same mistakes yourself. If you missed that lesson or any of the other previous lessons, you can click here to watch them now. This week, I'm going to talk to you about a couple of my favorite travel watercolor supplies, starting with the water brush. If you've never used one before, it's a pretty cool little gadget. They usually have synthetic brushes that come in different sizes and even different shapes. I have small, medium, large, and flat water brushes. So yeah, you could say I'm kind of obsessed. To use one, you unscrew the barrel and you fill it with water. After you screw it back together, all you have to do is give it a little squeeze and the water will run from the barrel through the mechanism into the brush. It takes a little bit of practice to get a feel for how much and how often to squeeze it, but once you do, it becomes such an easy and convenient tool. Because I live in the desert and the water is filled with harsh minerals, I like to use some kind of filtered water so I don't get minerals clogging the mechanism. If you live in a place with well water or something like it, you're probably fine to use tap water. When you're finished painting with one of these, it's really important to thoroughly clean it out. I generally take mine apart and make sure that there's no paint drying at the base of the brush or inside the parts. It does take a little bit of extra work, but it is such a joy to use when I'm out and about and I don't have access to a cup of water. My other favorite watercolor painting supplies is something I touched on in lesson 2, Viviva Colors watercolors. These are some of the most versatile sets of watercolor paints I've ever used. The colors are incredibly concentrated, so a little bit goes a long way, and they're just so lightweight and easy to handle. I even use them in my studio because I love the colors and the convenience so much. Now, full disclosure, I am a brand ambassador for Viviva Colors, and the links below that I'm sharing with you are affiliate links, meaning I will make a commission if you make a purchase. So it might look like I'm pretty biased spreading the news about these, but I want to be real about all aspects of these paints. Let's face it, no product is perfect. For example, the dyes used to make the color sheets are not light fast. If you don't know what light fast means, it's the reference of how much these paints will fade if exposed to a lot of sunlight. I use mine mostly in a sketchbook that is kept closed, so it hasn't been an issue for me. However, the cork pan sets are light fast, so if I want to paint something that I will be framing and exposing to natural light, that's what I would use. Just another note, because Viviva Colors is made with natural dyes instead of pigments, like a traditional set of watercolors, they can stain your skin. When you get them on your hands, you'll want to wash them off immediately. I usually wipe my hands on a damp towel that I keep handy as soon as I get the paint on them, and that usually does the trick. If you have kids painting alongside with you, you may want to get them their own set of traditional watercolors and place some extra paper or plastic on your table surface or clothing before painting so it's easier to clean up afterwards. Plus, you might not want to share this with your kids. Regardless, I'm genuinely obsessed with these paints, so I've learned how to work around these minor quirks because I believe the benefits truly outweigh any downsides. I own most of the sets that they've made, so I have access to lots of different colors. Plus, I have one of their pan sets, which are made with cork. As I mentioned in lesson 2, all of the Viviva paint sets are 100% sustainable. And cork is also biodegradable and just as lightweight as one of the color sheet sets. So even though this set is a bit larger, it's just as easy to use on the go and just as easy on the environment. I've even used my Viviva Colors to teach a few Skillshare classes and even a course of my own. I'll share some links to those below in the description so you have a chance to check those out. In fact, I have an entire class devoted to painting on the go, sharing what I've learned about how I use my Viviva color sheets. I've devoted an entire page on my website to it as well, so you can refer back to the different subject matters and applications and projects I've experimented with. But I'm not the only one obsessed with Viviva Colors. Several of my students have purchased them and openly rave about them. Claude was already using them when she found my classes, so she is a longtime user who loves the brand. Nikki recently purchased some and has become pretty obsessed herself. And Sharon, who creates a lot of mandala and meditation art, loves the vibrant, saturated colors that really help her tell her visual story. Alessandra was able to enjoy hers on a recent trip to Rome and is using her Viviva paints to capture all those incredible details from her trip. Charlotte is currently on a trip to Japan as I'm recording this and took her Viviva paints with her. I cannot wait to see what she creates with them. My only complaint, honestly, is that Viviva Colors is such a joy to use. I honestly don't know how I will ever go back to using another paint set for travel. As my gift to you and in companion with this lesson, I've included the link to my travel painting PDF guide to give you even more detail about my on-the-go painting process. This is actually the workbook to my Skillshare class called Watercolor Painting on the Go I talked about earlier. I shared a link to that class down below as well. Next week, I'll take you outside with me and show you how I use my water brush and my Viviva color sheets in process. In the meantime, what tools and paints do you like to travel with? I would love to hear about it in the comments below, and I hope you'll join the Your Watercolor Summer weekly challenge to get more video lessons, PDFs, a community to share your work in, and a challenge hub so you don't miss a thing. And it's all for free. FYI, I've added a featured section of beautiful summer watercolor paintings by some of our challenge participants on the bottom of that hub page for you to enjoy. I would so appreciate it if you would like this video, subscribe to this channel, and tap the notification bell so you don't miss any new lessons coming up. Then, click the link in the description below to join the challenge. Don't forget to work at your own pace and be kind to yourself along the way. Sharing one painting a week is plenty unless you want to do more. But if you need to skip a week, please give yourself that grace and then come back to us and paint when you're ready. I'll see you in lesson 4 of the Your Watercolor Low Pressure Weekly Challenge. And if it's already out, as you're watching this, you can click right here to watch it now.